Yo, I am here to help you with your homework. Add and subtract fractions with like denominators. Hey everyone, here is a video for you on adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. We know that another word for like denominators is common denominators, and we know when we're adding and subtracting fractions, we need to make sure the denominators are the same because the size of the pieces that we're cutting apart need to be equal. So if we look at number 1, I see I'm doing 2/6 plus 2/6. I am adding, so I'm going to want to box that in so I focus on my operation. And I can see that my denominators are the same, 6 and 6. So all I need to do is add my numerators. 2 plus 2 equals 4. So we get how many sixths? 4/6. Now, the directions say to simplify the answer. This is correct, but we're lazy, like we said, and we want to get it down to the smallest fraction possible so we can cut it into the least amount of pieces. So I know that I can divide this to make an equivalent fraction by 1 whole. And if I do 2/2, I know 2 times 2 gets me to 4. And 2 times 3 gets me to 6. So I simplified to 2/3. I can try to simplify more by dividing by 2/2 again to get a unit fraction and 1 on the top, because I know 2 divided by 2 would be 1, but 2 times nothing is going to get me to 3. So I'm guessing this is the smallest fraction I can get. If I want to double check that though, I can use my calculator and type in the fraction I calculated, 2, numerator, 3, denominator, and hit the simp button and hit equals, and it's giving me back 2/3, so that means that's the smallest fraction I get, so I know I'm good. Let's take a look at number 2. We have 4/8 plus 2/8, so I'm adding to find out how many eighths. My denominators are the same, so I just have to add the numerators. 4 plus 2 equals 6, and that is 6/8. I'm going to try to simplify this to get the smallest fraction possible. I know I can divide by the whole 2/2, and it'll work for the numerator and the denominator. So 2 times 3 equals 6, and 2 times 4 equals 8. Now, if I want to try to simplify again, I know I can't do 2 times something to get to 3. If I try 3 to get a 1 on top, 3 times something isn't going to get me to 4. So I'm guessing 3/4 is the smallest fraction I can get. But if I want to check in my calculator, type in 3, numerator, 4, denominator, hit simplify, hit equals, and you can see it's giving me back 3/4. So I know that's the smallest one I can do. All right, let's try number 3. We have 5/6 minus 1/6. My denominators are the same, so I need to find out how many sixths. I can do that by subtracting the numerators. 5 minus 1 equals 4, and then my denominator stays the same, 4/6. I want to make this fraction smaller, so I'm going to simplify it by dividing by the whole, 2/2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 2 times 3 equals 6. And I get 2/3. I'm guessing that's my smallest fraction, but if I'm not sure, 2 numerator, 3 denominator, simp equals 2/3. That's as small as I can go. Okay, number 4, 6/8 minus 2/8. I see that my denominators are the same, so I can just subtract my numerators. 6 minus 2 equals 4, and that is 4/8. The denominator stays the same. I want to simplify this by dividing by 2/2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 4 equals 8, so I get 2/4. And I know that 2 and 4 are both can both be divided by 2 again to get an even smaller fraction. So I'll do it one more time. If I divide by 2/2 again, 2 divided by 2 equals 1, 4 divided by 2 equals 2, and I get an answer of 1/2. Number 5, we have 1/4 plus 1/4. So we're going to add. Our denominators are the same, 4 and 4, so I can add up my numerators. 1 plus 1 is 2. Denominator stays the same, it's 2/4. Let's simplify by dividing by 2/2. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. I know when I have a 1 in the top, it's a unit fraction, and that's the smallest fraction I can possibly get. So I'm going to move on to number 6. Now I'm subtracting. I have 3/4 minus 1/4. My denominator is the same, it's in fourths, so I need to find out how many fourths. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Denominator stays the same, it's 4. 2/4, I know I can simplify that by dividing 2 over 2 to make an equivalent fraction of 1/2. Again, I have a 1 in the top, so I know that's the smallest fraction I can get. I can't simplify anymore. Number 7, 3/8 minus 1/8. I'm subtracting. My denominators are the same, 8 and 8, so I need to find out how many eighths. Subtract the numerators. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Denominator equals 8 because it is the same. And I want to simplify this, so I'm going to divide by 2 over 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. I get an answer of 1/4. My 1 is on the top, so I have a unit fraction. Can't simplify anymore. Let's look at number 8. I have 1/9 plus 2/9. I'm adding. My denominators are the same, 9 and 9. So I just add 1 plus 2, and I get 3. And then how many ninths? 3/9. My denominator stays the same. I want to try to simplify this fraction. Every time I've been doing this, dividing by the whole 2 over 2 has been working, but that's not going to work here because 2 times something doesn't get me to 3. So let's see if I can do 3. If I divide by the whole, 3 over 3, I know 3 times 1 gets me to 3, and 3 times 3 gets me to 9. So I get 1/3. I see that I have a unit fraction with a 1 at the top, so I know I can't simplify anymore. Let's do number 9. 5/12 plus 3/12. I'm adding 12ths to find out how many 12ths. 5 plus 3 equals 8. My denominator stays the same. It's 8/12. And I want to simplify. I could simplify by 2 over 2 because I know that will work. But I know also that 4 will work on the top and on the bottom. If I divide by the whole, 4 over 4, then I get 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. And that way I can do it in one step instead of having to divide by the whole of 2 twice. If I'm not sure if this is my most simplified fraction, I can always check it in my calculator. 2 numerator, 3 denominator, simp equals 2/3. I'm getting the same fraction back, so it's as small as it can get. All right, let's look at number 10. We have 7/8 minus 3/8. My denominators are the same, and I am subtracting. I need to find out how many eighths I have left. So 7 minus 3 equals 4. My denominator stays the same since I'm subtracting. It is 8. And then I need to simplify, so I could divide by the whole 2 over 2. Or, again, I know a 4 will work for both numbers. I could divide by the whole 4 over 4 to get my equivalent fraction of 1/2. Since I have a 1 in the numerator, that is a unit fraction, and I know that's as small as I can get. There's nothing more to simplify. Peace out, dudes.